Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The New World. And in today's video, we discuss a player whose name seems to revolve around the NBA in mainly a negative way, despite having a great start to his young career, and that is the Duke of Boston, Jayson Tatum. But before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 10K subs. Turn on those notifications to stay tuned for more content, and comment if you think Jayson Tatum is the most unliked player in the league. After hearing the talks about Jayson Tatum, mainly after his answer to being asked if he feels appreciated, in which he replied, "No. If you look at my accomplishments and detach my name from them, people would be talking about me differently." Fellas, do you agree with Tatum, and do you think he is the most unlikable player in the league?
Yes, I'm most unlikable player in the NBA. I'm not going to say that because I think in order to be the most unlikable player, you have to be getting a substantial amount of hate, and I don't think Tatum gets that. I think that we just don't talk enough about Tatum, so we can call him underrated. But I wouldn't say unlikable. When I'm thinking about guys that are unlikable, I'm thinking about guys like Joel Embiid or James Harden or Kevin Durant, guys that like in the media, only time we hear about them is in a negative light. I don't think that's the case with Jayson Tatum. I think the conversation about Jayson Tatum is interesting because I think what it is we have a gripe against him because of his personality. And we've said this in prior videos. I've said this on multiple occasions. Jayson Tatum has a bland, personality to a lot of people. Now, do I care about things like that? No, I mainly care about what you're doing on the basketball court and how that's translating to victories. I said that after the Boston Celtics won the championship this past season that Jayson Tatum, especially when he's tied to this team, can have a I said that Jayson Tatum can have a Derek Jeter type impact on the NBA. And I still stand by that. I think that he has the face. I'm seeing him in commercials practically every damn day. So he is marketable. I just think that there's a certain mold of face of the league, and we're going to get into that topic of conversation in another video. But we're looking for a certain person. I think that what the NBA needs to do is to pivot. If having a face of a league is constructive to what they want to do as an association, do I think that that's necessarily the mode that they need to follow? Not necessarily, but they're trying to replicate a Jordan, Kobe, or potentially even a Magic Johnson, Larry Bird type mold. And I don't think that we have that in the NBA right now. Jayson Tatum is not that. But if we just look at other leagues, what do other leagues promote? They promote the clean cut image. You know, Jayson Tatum, if he wanted to be a male model, no homo, he could go out there and do that. So you do have to have the look. Jayson Tatum has the look. He has the marketability. He's going to say the same thing in every single press conference. That's what we like to see. I think that basketball, we kind of like those egotistical, arrogant, cocky personalities. You know, Jordan had that. Kobe, Bron, all these guys have had that. But if we look at a mold like the NFL, these quarterbacks, what are they? They're pretty bland. So I think that what the NBA is and who we like to build up and boost up, Jayson Tatum is not. But I do think that Jayson Tatum is a positive influence on basketball because he doesn't care about stats. He's only focused on winning games. I think that that's what we don't care about. In my opinion, Jayson Tatum is a lot like Tim Duncan. Not saying that he's on that caliber of player, but his personality, what he prioritizes, I can get behind, but I don't think that the NBA likes that. I don't think the NBA really cares about winners. They don't care about winners. They don't care about competitors. They don't care about people that work hard. They care about guys that are going to sell a lot of shoes. They care about guys that have a lot of highlights that are going to, curse in the media like your Anthony Edwards, your LeBron Jameses. That's what they want. And what we're seeing is that that shit is not selling. That's not selling. That's not moving the fucking people, which I say this in every video. So I think that Jayson Tatum is underappreciated and underrated, but I won't say that he's the most unlikable because I don't think that Jayson Tatum is getting a lot of hate unless people are talking about his personality. Because when you look at his game, putting up 26 points per game a night, their team is always winning. Can't really say anything bad about him on the court unless he has a bad playoff performance, and he's not going to do anything off the court. Leadership is there. So yeah, I don't think that this question is the right question. I don't think that he's unlikable. I just think that he's underappreciated.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. To the point, I think just coming from the league, like Jayson Tatum, when he initially got drafted to his team, it was really basically the duo of him and Jaylen Brown. Is pretty much what the Boston Celtics were running on, and that's pretty much how he got a lot of his motion. Now he has kind of edged himself a little over Jaylen Brown because I think Jaylen Brown, the NBA doesn't really want a guy like that. Jaylen Brown, as we know, I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say he's woke, but he says a lot of stuff that face the league you really don't want them like to say. And some stuff that like LeBron, LeBron didn't even say stuff like that. And like when LeBron's face the league, he was um political outspeaker. Like everybody like wants LeBron to run for office or something, which I think would be funny if LeBron James ran for office in like 2028. So yeah, so Jaylen Brown, he really wasn't the face that the Boston Celtics and the entire league really wanted to. They pushed that over Jason Tatum, and from what I've seen, there's been a lot of backlash towards Jason Tatum over the last couple of years. Like I know, like after the NBA Finals, what he did was kind of corny, according to some people. I didn't really think it was that bad, but like he got slandered a lot for that. Like after the championship ceremony, when I think it was like right after the game, they he was like at some like banquet or whatever. He did the Kanye, and he's basically ripping off everybody. And I saw an important thing, and I'm bringing this up because we talked about this in the group chat that we had. That Colin Cowherd said this. When you think of the guys like Jordan, Magic, LeBron, they all got faces to them. When you think of Jason Tatum, there's no face. And I think while I do agree with that, like Jason Tatum, like when you think of him, like when you just close your eyes and think, there's not really a clear image that puts to your mind. Because honestly, the most marketable thing to me that's with him is his son. His relationship with his son, that's like the most marketable thing for him. He's also a Jordan Brand athlete, and he's got a lot of endorsements. But Deuce is like a big part of his image to me, and I think Jason Tatum is honestly he's a top 5 player in the league right now. He's like year after year, he's gonna be floating around at 3 to 5 in MVP rankings, power rankings. Like he's never gonna get MVP, I don't believe, because Jokic pretty much has that shit on lock. And with the level of like play and the criteria that changed with the MVP award, I don't think he's ever gonna be able to win one. But the fact is, his team is always winning. His team is always winning. They're always a top 3 seed. They're always, headed to the conference championship game, bare minimum. Like it's been a minute since they got bounced out in the semifinals of the first round. I think it's been since 2021. So they go deep in the postseason every year. He's the best player on those teams. So I think he kind of deserves a bit more respect in the media. Like these guys on First Take, and ESPN's kind of gone down in the water recently with the quality and how it's diminished lately. But everybody just wants to have a hot take. It's like Jason Tatum. If you want to market him, he possibly can be that guy. But I think he's more of an intermediary guy. Like how I know people might not like this. Kobe Bryant, he was an intermediate. He was like one of those bridge guys as the face of the league between the Jordan and LeBron era. Like that's just how it was. So Dr. J, he was the bridge era before the Magic and Bird era. So you kind of need bridge guys, and with the way the NBA is looking, Victor Wembanyama, who we all think should be their face, he might be going down with some nagging injuries in the future, and like the blood clot stuff. That's nothing that's not serious. Like that is serious. That is very, very serious. It's not like a in-game injury or like an ankle sprain. No. Like that's actually a serious injury. Serious injury. Joel Embiid, he's about to retire pretty much. His career is basically done. If I'm going to be honest. These international guys like Jokic, he's already like I think Jokic is already 30. Giannis is like 30. Like these guys, they're like over the edge. Like Luka Doncic, who I think could be a good selling point. Even then, I don't think he's that generational prospect. I think people just throw around that term generational. Generational is like every 20 years, bro. So Luka Doncic, while he is an all-time great talent, we never seen a guy just like roll out the bed and just put up like crazy stats like he does. There's going to be somebody who comes better than him, and I think that's what the Dallas Mavericks saw last year when they pretty much got rid of him and they thought he couldn't, take them over the top, which we already discussed in our earlier videos. I thought the Dallas Mavericks weren't gonna make it back. So the fact that they didn't run that back, I thought they kind of figured that. It was like, that was their peak. It kind of reminded me of like the OKC Thunder with James Harden. Like they pretty much realized, well, actually they made a bad judgment on that, but they weren't going to win with that core. Like everybody talks about, all these guys, the MVPs, they weren't going to win with that core, like not playing that style of basketball. So I think Jason Tatum is a suitable guy to be the face of the league because, like, you just look at it, like he's basically accomplished more than all these other guys accomplished. SGA, the guy who's pretty much front runner for MVP, Jason Tatum has accomplished way more than him. If I'm just keeping it, but he's accomplished way more than him. He like the only guys he hasn't really accomplished, like besides like the KDs and Stephs and LeBron, is really just Giannis and Jokic. That's really it. Those are the only two guys he hasn't accomplished more. He's pretty much accomplished more than everybody else that's in this new era. So I think that's where the NBA should hang their hat to. But I'm not really sure what Adam Silver is thinking because they missed the mark on each of their last face of the leagues, in my opinion. They missed the mark on Zion. He became a big failure. They missed the mark on Ben Simmons. I don't even need to talk about that. They missed the mark on Luka Doncic. Well, I mean, they still got a future with Luka Doncic, but does he really have that same motion that he did, like, year 2, year 3? I don't think so. So they kind of really missed the mark on finding that guy. That guy was supposed to be Wemby, but he's having questionable issues now. So who is really going to be that guy? I think Jason Tatum needs to be that guy. I think he has to be that guy. It doesn't have to be for an extended period of time, like a decade. It can be probably just for like a 3 to 4 year window, 3 to 4 or 5 year window. I feel like he can be that guy. But the NBA, they have a promotional issue. They have a promotional issue, and LeBron James came out in a recent interview, blamed it on the media. They don't, where the media is kind of the problem. That's basically what he was insinuating, and kind of trying to get on those guys like Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith, he replied back to that, but he kind of I don't think Stephen A. understood what LeBron meant because he was like, we're definitely gonna be talking about this, and I'm like, dude, that's the reason why he said that shit because y'all just let's be honest, the media does not really like basketball like that. If we're keeping a buck, they just like storylines. So that was something that is going to kind of haunt the NBA forever, in my opinion, is the fact that the media just does a poor job, and they like nobody cares about anybody who doesn't play in the big market. Like if you don't play in the big market, you don't get any attention. Like think of this, Paolo Banchero only got like one national televised game in his first 2 seasons. So they don't really care about you like that. It's pretty sad, but the NBA they definitely got some work to do, man. They definitely got some work to do in the game and off the game. That's just my thoughts.
Yeah, to answer the question about Tatum, I do think it's better to rephrase it to he's not attracted to a lot of guys. Like a lot of people don't really, like him. Like especially talking about the finals, like, you saw how he acted and he was doing the we did it and what they gonna say now. And then he did the Kanye thing and everybody's like, oh, he's corny and this and that. And then to Caleb's point, he was talking about what Colin Cowherd said about, you close your eyes and, when you think of Jordan and LeBron, you think of certain things. But when you think of Jason Tatum, you close your eyes, you go blank. Which, I mean, I do agree. Tatum isn't like, he's not outgoing. He's not like Ant and, all these guys where he just talks his talk. But, I mean, he still kills everybody. Like, it's crazy. And even looking back at one of his recent games, he dropped 46 and like 12 or 46, like 16 and something against the Cavs. And even though they lost, everybody just pointing out the fact that, he was celebrating at the beginning of the first quarter, talking about take y'all butts home. And he was like, that's what y'all get. And it's like, bro, I mean, they're still playing the Cavs, so it's not like they played a bad team and sold the game. Like they played a good team. Like the Cavs came back from comebacks. They literally did that against OKC. But when Jason Tatum does something and celebrates, oh, that's what you get for doing that, this and that. And like they're bashing him the whole time. And they really didn't care for the fact that this dude dropped 46, 16, and like 7 or something like that. So it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of stuff that Jason Tatum does, especially in the comments on like social media and stuff. People can't wait for him to do something because even if he says certain things, they're going to bash him. Like he was talking about you erase my name from my accomplishments, then people will talk about me differently, which is true because, I mean, it's crazy. Like before, Jason Tatum was like, I want to be in talks with, Bron, Kobe, all these greats. I want to be up there with them, like Bron, Steph. And people were bashing him for wanting to be great. They were like, "Why are you trying to be like this? Why are you trying to be like that? Like, I can't want to be great. Like, are we serious?" It's really crazy because he's done all these things, and people don't want to tie him to these great names just because his game's boring or he doesn't have certain aura, this and that, or he's corny. And it's like SGA, we call him aura man and stuff. He hasn't accomplished the things that Jason Tatum has, but yet he's in Jordan talks because of the stat lines he's putting up for the past seasons. But I mean, you look at Jason Tatum, before the age of 27, he's done things that Jordan, Bron, Kobe haven't done. And like between those names, the only one to do what he's done was like, all NBA, all these certain accolades. And he was the only one, and Kobe, to win a finals without a finals MVP.
I really don't want to, because you guys are doing a great job, but I just have to ask this. So what do y'all want to say about Jason Tatum? Like, what are y'all trying to say about him? Because I agree, we should talk about him more. He has these accolades, but that's why it's important to have context. Because one thing I was seeing this past week is people started talking about him. I don't know what, I think it was that comment Jason Tatum made. We started talking about him, and they started comparing him to other people and saying, well, he has this and he has that. But I'm like, I will say this. Context is very, very important. Yes, Jason Tatum has these accolades, but when we start talking about Jordan and Kobe and Bron and all of these other guys, he's not that. You can want to be that, but he's not that. And I think that's what's very, very important for us to acknowledge is that, yes, you can want to be that. But when we talk about face of the league, and I really don't want to be long-winded about this, because we're going to talk about this in another video, Jason Tatum is not that caliber. Colin Cowherd, we cannot like what he said. Because I do think that we give a lot of other guys praise without denigrating them when they're wrong or when they don't play well. But he is right. Jason Tatum, you have to have that it factor. He doesn't have that. And that's fine. That's why I said he could be Tim Duncan-esque. But Tim Duncan has been retired for over a decade. We don't talk about him. He's the greatest power forward to ever play the game. Jason Tatum could fit into that. But for one, he doesn't have the personality to be great in terms of being face of the league. And two, as of now, he doesn't have the game. Like, Jason Tatum could probably be top 20, 25, maybe. But these other guys are transcendent in terms of they can elevate what's around. Like, Jason Tatum has a great team. Very, very great team. Very competent structure, coaching, organization. He has that. So people are taking that into account. Now, is there a double standard? Yes. But us understanding what basketball is and understanding the game, those are the facts. So do I think that they should be talking about Tatum a little bit more? Yes. But when we start saying, what are we trying to say? Are we trying to say that he should be the face of the league? Are we trying to say that we should just put more respect on his name? What are y'all saying? I need to kind of understand, because it seems like you guys are kind of saying that, oh yeah, he has these accolades and this and this and this, so we should, I just want to know, what are y'all saying? Like, what do y'all mean?
Here's my thing. I think he should be. I'm gonna go for Jay. I think he should be an interim. Like how you have an interim that just holds that.
I'm fine with that.
Yes, I'm fine with that, because I don't think, like, if you just look at the landscape of these guys like Magic, Jordan, LeBron, they've been raised to be face of the league since honestly before they got in the league. Before they got in the league, you can track it down to high school and college, even though LeBron didn't go to college, but you can track it down to all those years in their rookie season, and they pretty much got that. They pretty much got the hype. They pretty much got the build. They pretty much got they want that on themselves. Like, they pretty much want the image. So that's a key difference. Now, when you start looking at these other guys, like when you start looking at Dr. J, Tim Duncan, Kobe, even though I don't think he was that, like, he wasn't to that level. And then guys like Kevin Durant, if they weren't really the face of the league, but if they were like, basically, if they really did have the streets on lock, they had it on lock for like 2 or 3 years. It was a very short span where the streets were on lock. And that's my thing. I think Jason Tatum can have that, but if you're pretty much gonna be rolling around this LeBron James, Steph Curry coast. What's gonna happen when these guys do eventually retire? Because Jason Tatum, he pretty much does have the resume to be that guy. I'm like to be that guy for a couple years. What's the brother like 26? Like 26? You mean like 26? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the brother's like 26, and if you just give him like a 3 to 4 year window, I think he can be that interim guy to pass it off to the next guy for the next guy to actually be a generational type player. I'm not saying that Jason Tatum is a generational player. I don't think he is. I think the only generational player in this era is Jokic, and I don't think I'm crazy to say that. I just think he's the only generational player. Like how many times do we see a Jokic caliber player come around? You rarely see it. So that's my thing. I don't think he can be it for a long period of time. I don't even think he's a face of the league that they need to push hard. Like they can have him as that image, but he's not going to be that face of the league for long. That's my thing. I don't think he's that good. Cause like I said, like he fluctuates between top 5 every year. He's not going to win MVP. In the playoffs, I mean, if we just look at it in the NBA Finals, he hasn't really played that well. Shooting the ball, and shooting the ball is supposed to be his best asset. So he has those things working against him, but I think he can stay in that light for a little bit. But the entire community, they just like kind of hate him for whatever reason. I don't really know what it is. I think it's the dude, it has to be the fact like that they won a championship and like the shit he was doing after it. Like that may be the reason, because I really don't get why people hate this dude so much. But that's just on social media from what I see. People in the media, they pretty much understand that Jason Tatum isn't really that guy, and they just don't even bother to like even engage in those talks. So that's their. I mean, they definitely have a point on that, but yeah, I just think it's kind of weird, honestly.
I think what you said is the key point, the key takeaway. What we are saying is the hate element of it is social media, and it's only social media. We gotta, dog, when we start having these conversations, fuck social media. No disrespect, but in terms of the hierarchy of our conversation, that shit is irrelevant. Fuck social media. When we talk about Jason Tatum standings, we're talking about opinions that matter, which means that we're mainly talking about media, fans in general. Jason Tatum is not getting hate. He's not. Just because you have, some community on social media and also Jason Tatum plays for the Boston Celtics. A lot of people hate the Celtics. So that's going to be a carryover effect. But just in terms of raw hate, he's not getting that. Now, I will say this. The media likes guys like Ant, and so they tend to only talk about Anthony Edwards. Like if Anthony Edwards has a great game, they're going to talk about him. If he has a bad game, we're not going to hear about him. I think that's lame. And so if we want to talk about those comparisons, yes, but like dog, like I'm going to say Bron Jordan Magic level. Those are like faces of the league. Then there's an element underneath that where we have like, okay, as Caleb says, the guys that maintain that are the bridges. Kobe, Steph is going to be that. Tatum is underneath that. Like he's not even in those first 2 tiers, so he can't be face of the league. And that's really my thing. So that's why I'm just asking what is really the conversation. But Buff, I think you pretty much answered my question. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Buff for sure. I don't think, Tatum will have that role, for many years to come. I think that's locked for Wemby, as long as he doesn't have like nagging injuries or something. But I do think, as of now, like, the NBA should kind of have him there for a small amount of time because, he's the only one kind of befitting of it. Like, I know they keep trying to boost up Ant, which I will kind of get more into in the next video. They keep trying to boost up Ant. They're trying to force him to be the face of the league, even though he doesn't want to, which I don't know why people don't get that he doesn't want to, because, I mean, his favorite player is Kevin Durant. Like, he just wants to hoop. So, people kind of force him to be something just because, he might look a little bit like Jordan and can jump like him. And, he talks his stuff. So, NBA, really, it's kind of just the media. They're kind of trying to push that. But I just don't really like how, sometimes, people disrespect Tatum because they're like, oh, he's not even the best player on his team. Oh, he's soft, and he's this and that. He's too quiet and all this, and it's like, bruh, you still can't discredit what he's done because he's been an All NBA player for what, like 5 years in a row. And people are always talking about, oh, he's on a super team. He's not on a super team. Like, it's only 2 All-Stars on that team. Like, Jrue Holiday, he was an All-Star before he came to Boston. They talk about, oh, Derek White, he's the best role player in the league. I don't know about the best role player. That's kind of up for grabs. You could really put Austin Reeves up in there. And honestly, the way Austin Reeves been playing this season, like Porzingis, we know how good Porzingis is, but like, are we serious? This team's a super team. Like, the Cavs are a super team. They have 3 All-Stars on that team. It really should have been 4 with Jared Allen, but he kind of got hold. But like, that's a super team. Like, we always want to talk about it just because it's Boston, and oh, they're supposed to make it to the Eastern Conference Final every year, this and that, and they're talking about how Jason Tatum.
They are supposed to make it. Don't do that. I'm not going to let you off the hook for that. Boston Celtics have the most talent in the NBA. They do. This is a great fucking team, and they should continue to win. Cleveland Cavaliers.
I wasn't saying they weren't supposed to, but
what I'm saying is, and I feel like we're going in circles. Everything that you're saying is what social media, bro. Niggas on social media don't matter. They don't fucking matter. They don't matter. The only people that saying, oh, Jason Tatum is boring, he's a choir boy, he's on the super team, the niggas on social media. That's it. These niggas don't matter, bro. So he not getting real hate. He getting hate from niggas that don't have lives, essentially. People that's hating on Jason Tatum don't have a life. They want to hate on everything. So they don't matter. 99% of people don't matter on social media. They don't matter. So, like, when we're talking about hate, I want to talk about the people in the media, former players that actually have a voice and have influence. Because those are the people that should be taken seriously.
Hey, it's one person that I can't take serious, and that's Brandon Jennings. Like that. That's the only person that I hear just down talk. Yeah. He always calls him soft and this and that, and you got to win this and win that. And it's like you telling somebody who already won something, he got to win something. Like, it's crazy. Because, I mean, he leads his team in basically every category: points, rebound, assists, blocks, steals, but he doesn't come up with, the conference finals MVP, and he doesn't come up with the finals MVP because that's the same voters as the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. So he really wasn't going to win it. And I mean, and then you talk, you see Giannis, he goes on to talk about, oh, if you win the finals MVP, you're the best player in the league. Like, come on, bro. Are you serious? Like, this is somebody who is argued as, the best player in the league. He gonna talk about some Jaylen Brown's best player in the league. Like, I can't take that stuff seriously. So, it really is mainly just social media. But then again, it is a little bit of, guys who have the basketball knowledge, and, they kind of just throw a little dirt on Jason Tatum, which I don't like. But I'm not saying Jason Tatum should be like in Bron talks and this and that. No, he's not none of those guys. He's not like LeBron, MJ. He's Jason Tatum. But, people should definitely put some more respect on him. And, I get it. Sometimes the stuff he do is corny, but I mean, the dude just want to be great, bro. Like, that's really all it is to it. And, people want him to, I guess, be an asshole and this and that, but does he really have to? Because, I mean, he wins. Like, ain't nobody saying he got to drop, 35, 40 a game. He doesn't have to because he wins. So it's like the same thing with Shea. Like, for him to win MVP, a lot of, old heads and stuff say, oh, compete when he's competing against Jokic, he's got to drop like, 35 or 40 a game just to win MVP, even though he's already first seed. And it's like, bro, what more does he have to do? He's winning. That, if anything, that'd be selfish of him to do if he wants to, make his stats look good just to win MVP. So it's like, I agree with Buff. He probably won't win MVP just because, he has to deal with Jokic every freaking year. So, I mean, that's going to be tough for him, but he's still going to have a, Hall of Fame resume. And, will he be touted as like a top 5, forward all time? I don't know. But, Jason Tatum, he is that guy.